Something extraordinary just happened in British politics. Prime Minister Keir Starmer, confident, determined and ready to reshape Britain, introduced a controversial new law he thought would define his legacy. But it backfired spectacularly because King Charles, yes, the monarch himself, just blocked it inside Parliament, and now the entire country is watching in disbelief. Is this a constitutional crisis, a royal rebuke, or the first major crack in Starmer's leadership? Stay with me, because this isn't just about politics. It's about power, tradition, and the limits of control in modern Britain. Let's rewind. After sweeping into power, Keir Starmer promised a new era of accountability and reform. Among his most ambitious plans, a sweeping government powers and public oversight bill, a law aimed at centralising decision-making under his cabinet, limiting certain royal or ceremonial approvals that many saw as outdated. Starmer called it modernisation. Critics called it an attack on constitutional balance. Under the UK's unique system, the royal assent, every bill must technically be approved by the monarch before it becomes law. It's usually just a formality. Until now. Because for the first time in decades, reports suggest King Charles raised concerns and refused to give full backing. And that decision sent shockwaves through Westminster. Here's where things exploded. Starmer's bill aimed to shift certain powers, including oversight on appointments and executive orders, away from traditional royal advisories and into government committees. But behind closed doors, palace advisors reportedly warned that this bill threatened constitutional neutrality. According to insiders, King Charles, known for his quiet but firm constitutional awareness, privately expressed grave reservations. Within hours, the news broke. The king withheld consent pending further review, effectively blocking the bill's progress. In one stroke, a centuries-old formality became a real weapon, and Britain was plunged into debate. Did the king just overstep, or was he defending the very foundation of British democracy? Soundbite montage, political commentators arguing on TV. Commentator 1, this is unprecedented. A sitting monarch challenging a sitting prime minister. Commentator 2, it's not a rebellion. It's a constitutional safeguard. Commentator 3, but it makes Starmer look weak. And that, right there, is the real problem. Public perception shifted almost overnight. The backlash was immediate. Starmer's supporters accused the palace of political interference, calling it a monarchy meddling in democracy. Opposition MPs, however, cheered. They called it a necessary reminder that power must always have limits. Meanwhile, polls began to move. Starmer's approval ratings dipped for the first time since taking office, and whispers inside Labour circles grew louder. Has he gone too far, too soon? Across the Atlantic, US and EU leaders watched cautiously, wondering if Britain was sliding into a constitutional standoff. And amid all the noise, Buckingham Palace remained silent, offering only one brief line. The King acts on advice and in accordance with constitutional principles. But silence sometimes speaks louder than any statement. This moment, this collision of power, might redefine Britain's future. Because it's not just about one law, it's about where power truly lies. Can a modern elected leader reshape centuries of royal tradition? Should a monarch have the right, even symbolically, to say no? These questions cut to the very soul of Britain's democracy. And it's not just the UK watching. From Canada to Australia, every Commonwealth nation tied to the Crown is asking if the King can block a law in London, could he do the same here? This may be the spark that reignites debate over constitutional reform, monarchy's future, and even the unity of the UK itself. In a world already divided, Britain now faces a new kind of question. Modernisation versus tradition, elected authority versus historical legacy. Which one wins? Starmer's law was meant to symbolise progress, but instead it's become a warning, a reminder that in politics, or even power has boundaries. King Charles, often seen as ceremonial, just proved that history still has a heartbeat in the halls of Parliament. So now Britain stands at a crossroads. Will Starmer double down and fight for reform? Or step back, acknowledging a monarchy that still commands the final word? What do you think? Did King Charles defend democracy or overstep his place in it? Let me know your thoughts below. If you believe in understanding power, not just politics, make sure to subscribe, like and share this video, because this story isn't over. It's only just beginning. Outro music rises. Fade out with title card. Starmer's law backfires. The Crown strikes back.